Welcome back to another exciting episode of Cyber Defense TV. I'm your host, Gary Malevsky, and the publisher of Cyber Defense Magazine. Sitting in my hot seat today is a very special guest. Jairo Orea is the Chief Information Security Officer of Kimberly Clark Corporation and a top 100 CISO in the world. Jairo, welcome.
Thank you, Gary. I'm happy of being here. Thanks for the invitation.
So you're managing a huge network. Tell us how it used to be with 110 offices and how it is today and what kind of issues you're having with identity management and other things.
I would say when it comes to our enterprise identity management, I think we're in a good place. We have been on this multi-year transformation, simplifying our technology stack, integrating our authentication services, all access management for that matter, across the enterprise. So where the most challenge exists today is as we start to operate more and more closer to the consumer, we're looking to have stronger services that can allow us to integrate access for consumers from anywhere, from anything, at any time. And on that side, consumer identity and access management is one area where we are starting to use as an integration service for all of our capabilities as we provide interaction with this closer relationship with our consumers.
So your customers, to reduce risk of fraud, you're interacting with more devices, you're geolocating them, you're putting up kind of triggers or alarms when you notice an anomaly in someone trying to access one of your customers' accounts, maybe with the wrong device or from the wrong location?
That's right. So these capabilities will help they are helping to detect from where the consumer is connecting, to develop patterns in terms of what is the behavior for the consumer, and through several capabilities, including AI, to detect, challenge, and prevent potential bad actors from taking advantage of this.
Very cool. Now let's move to the inside of your network. Used to be you'd have 40,000 employees all working from 110 offices around the globe. Now are they all working from 40,000 home offices? And how is that affecting security for the corporation?
As I described earlier, given this transformation we had for the last 3 years, given our elastic infrastructure, for us, it was not a significant change. Where the most work came, it was about helping our employees on understanding the risks they have, on how they are configured on the network, on the risks on finding a way to maintain security for their desks, right? A clean desk policy, and helping them in many cases to activate their home office, but not really about cyber. I think from that side, at most, we went the other way. We started to increase the security, not because we needed to increase the security, more because we wanted to be best practice level or beyond on how do we protect those employees.
Are you using any really cool tool that you want to share the name of? Is it a hot new VPN, a cloud-based SaaS security service, a new firewall? You know, what's out there that's helped you that whether you name the vendor, you kind of name how it works? I think it'd be great to learn from you, an expert who manages a very huge network.
I would say we use CPA, Zscaler CPA. So pretty much we're using it from the edge, protecting everything that we have, and also we're activating a zero trust model with their platform. CPA, what it does is, one, you have an elastic infrastructure. Like when this pandemic happened, it took us hours just to increase the capacity and be able to react to this event and send employees home. But at the same time, we have a way to, if you will, reduce the blast. So should something happen on one user, the access they have is the minimum access possible for the user. So if we have a contractor They will have access only to those systems that they need to access, no more nor less. So that is that zero trust model. So Zscaler play a big role for us on this transition. So that's one. I will say on the other side, EDR, having proper controls in place on our endpoints and allowing the flexibility that is needed as we work from home, it play a big difference as well, right? Maintaining the security at the same time that we are allowing employees to operate from home.
How do you feel about the latest wave of ransomware and phishing attacks? I'm just curious if it's hitting your employees more now that they're working from home, or you feel the endpoint security that you're offering is kind of scrubbing that for them before you have to worry about it.
It's always a worry. You're always one click away from being compromised, right? So there you need a mix between awareness, education for the users. So we run campaigns educating users. If they fail on if they click, they may win a free ticket to training on how to prevent, right, potential malware from going into their assets. And we do this on the phishing side, smishing side, sending text messages as well. But the main aspect on this is also this will require an ecosystem. So protecting the email against suspicious attackers, having automated response against phishing emails, reducing the exposure for the end user to these targeted emails is key. If for any reason emails end up on their inbox for one of our employees, that's where the education side comes in. And if they have some suspicion around the email, they can click a button, they can send that to an automated process that will manage the incident. So this is more of an ecosystem type of solution, from awareness, from email protection, endpoint protection in the end, should they click on this. And all of that together is what is preventing bad actors from getting in.
Now, did you build your own anti-phishing solution? Did you go to vendors like KnowBe4 or PhishMe or any of those other players?
We have a mix, and the main vendor we use is Proofpoint. So we use Proofpoint and obviously Wombat as we train employees and enable this phish click button, and behind that is SOAR. So we're using automated incident response to react to potential phishing emails. But also on the endpoints, we have our EDR platform integrated with our threat intelligence platform to anticipate potential incidents from happening on the endpoint. So if we hear from our peers in the industry that certain bad actors are attacking vendors, because vendors is the main target these days around malware, especially ransomware, then we take that intel, bring it in, and we block proactively bad actors from penetrating our network.
That's excellent. Now, are there tips or tricks or ideas you'd want to share with other chief information security officers that have helped you be so successful in avoiding breaches and compliance issues at Kimberly Clark?
I don't know about tips or tricks, because most of my peers, they have if not more experience than me, they have a lot of capabilities being enabled, and each environment is different. But having focus on third parties, having a stronger program around proactive threat prevention, it pays for the long run. Protecting the company from the outside in, from protecting the brand, protecting our leaders, protecting our employees throughout the infrastructure is not easy. And right now, these days, where the most attacks are happening is through the ecosystem, through third parties, right? So pretty much to look into that. Knowledge exchange with others in the industry. is very helpful. So many groups for threat intel, to do knowledge exchange, to provide indicators of compromise, indicators of threat, to exchange is making a difference for us. So I think that's what I could share on, for them.
That's great. Do you feel that LinkedIn is helpful? Are you in any cool LinkedIn groups for CISOs and experts in cyber?
I am not, but I do have several work groups where we exchange information around this, from, Gartner to Knowledge Connect and a few other groups, ISACs, right? The retail and hospitality ISAC, FS ISAC, MS ISAC. So the main groups where you can exchange for your industry threat intel around what's happening, what are the newest threat actors is what it has been helpful for us.
Now, do you send staff to trade shows? And I know since COVID, Black Hat has been virtual, but events like the RSA Security Conference, Black Hat, DEF CON, are there any favorite conferences if they come back in 2021 that you like to go to or that you think would be great for other CISOs to attend?
Black Hat for sure. RSA are the ones that come to mind. Always DEF CON as they go to Black Hat.
What do you think of the Gartner Risk Summit in Washington, D.C.? Have you been to that one?
No, I should be looking for that one.
Yeah, that's once a year. It's pretty cool. And there's another group that formed I wanted to ask you if you've heard of and what you think about it if you have. FAIRinstitute.org, FAIR, Factored Analysis and Information Risk. Have you heard of these guys?
No idea. I haven't, but now I guess I'm going to be looking for them.
Well, Jairo, you're in my hot seat, so I have to ask tough questions. Well, guess what? The FAIR Institute is trying to create a standard like a FICO score for network risk and tie that into things you can talk to the CFO, the CEO, and the board about, saying this is why we need to spend X dollars because it causes this much risk for our organization. So they're trying to standardize it, which is new and exciting. And I hope you'll take a look at fairinstitute.org and let me know what you think about them, maybe in our next hot seat together.
Absolutely. And for sure, I'm going to be looking for that. That's a coincidence. I'm working very heavily on this front, on finding exactly something like this.
Sounds good. Are there any other things you'd want to share with our viewers or our listeners?
I would say in previous conversations we talk about, is it a problem with so many breaches? Is it lack of funding? Is it lack of security in companies? And what I was sharing with you is that we have to be 100% of the time right, protecting the company. Bad actors have to be the right ones, right? I think the CEO from Palo Alto said that once. I concur with him. I think one single change, one single misconfiguration, innovation, whatever that happens in companies is where these events may happen. My recommendation is to focus more on education, on working on a multiplier effect, creating proportional risk ownership with those different areas that manage these changes. So protecting the company is pretty much everybody's job, right? It takes a village, they say, this case, to educate employees, and we all play a role into it. So that's my last thought to share for this interview.
That's great. I really appreciate the interview, and I hope we can get together again in the future and talk about other subjects like deception technology or artificial intelligence or going on the offense. We'll save those for the next one. If you'd like, I'd love to have you back sometime.
Happy to do that, Gary. Thank you so much for having me.
So, folks, this was Jairo Orea, the CISO of Kimberly Clark Corporation. And then come back next time for an exciting episode at Cyber Defense TV.